Good morning, everyone. Treasure Troller here from the mask-wearing militant state of Michigan, where we have Gretchen Whitmer as our governor and dictator. And if you don't believe me, just ask Kelly Stafford. So I guess today we'll talk a little bit about the Biden press conference, sort of the obvious side of things, and then maybe the kind of the perception I have of some things. So the first thing about yesterday's press conference, it wasn't anything that I didn't expect. A couple of things that he said in there that I really think he was trying to be funny. I don't think that he didn't know what he was saying. I just think they were just bad jokes. But when you have the appearance that you're suffering from mental and cognitive deficiencies, it doesn't really bode well as a joke. I think the Jim Eagle joke was just nothing more than comparing a crow to an eagle. I've been in Congress for 120 years. I just think was him trying to be funny. But like I said, some people go, well, he probably actually thinks he's been in Congress 120 years. Or he doesn't even know how long he's been in. I think it was an attempt at humor that only he gets. So I'll give him a pass on that. I was listening to Scott Adams, and he had a really good point on the voter registration and getting people, shall we say, IDs. And that is, the Republicans like to complain about it, but they really don't do anything about it but complain about it. And if they were really interested and they were really sincere about making sure that everyone could legally vote, then they would put forth, say, an ID program where all you had to do is show up somewhere, Social Security office or driver's, your Secretary of State's office, and for free of charge, they will assist you in getting your photo ID, your official state photo ID. They will cover the costs of it. So they'll help you get your birth certificate. They will help you get all the paperwork in line. They will issue you your voter ID, and that way, or your state ID, and get you registered to vote. That way, the voter fraud thing is taken care of. But if all they're going to do is complain about it, then maybe they really don't want things to change. And Democrats don't have to worry about it. I mean, they're fine with the way things are, but it'd be interesting to see what would happen if they put forth a program like this and then the Democrats wanted to have a problem with it. The next thing was the transparency and Fort Bliss. The transparency of the, shall we say, I don't want what you want to call them, shelters, and the transparency of the media getting into some of these centers, detainment centers, or whatever you want to call them. So they decided that there's 5,000 beds at Fort Bliss. Well, Fort Bliss is more of a field training site. The major base in that area is Fort Sam in San Antonio. Fort Bliss is down in El Paso, I should say. So anyways, it's more of a training facility, a field training place. And And they also do have some barracks there for pre- and post-deployment soldiers. A lot of it, it's a rather old place. So the military is probably going to be using the more, I guess, modern or livable dormitories or barracks, which will leave the kids probably, and they'd made a comment about something like in the outer areas of Fort Bliss. So basically, I think what you're going to hear in the near future, you're going to hear tents, porta-johns and porta-showers, and maybe the outside chance you'll hear MREs. So then we get to the transparency part of this. You know, Dementia Joe has promised transparency. And he's going to say, yep. You know, the other thing too was he made the comment about building back to, he'd said 5,000 beds, and we're building back up to capacity, which really struck me as an odd thing to say. It's almost like, so we have 5,000 more people out at Fort Bliss is a good thing. We're building up our undocumented minor children is a good thing. So he'll tell you that we've got the facilities there. You know, when the plan's enacted, so basically when they can vacate a bunch of kids from the facilities that they got going right now that are overcrowded and move them to Fort Bliss, well, then they'll let the media into the ones that they couldn't get in, and the media will come in and look around and go, oh yeah, looks like pretty comfortable here, nothing to see here, geez, we were wrong about that. But they'll never get to Fort Bliss. I mean, it's a military installation. They're never going to let them on there. They got active duty people there. They're just not going to do it. So I think the transparency thing is a little bit of a misnomer. It's a bit disingenuous. So I think he was trying to be funny, but you can't be unhealthy and be funny about being healthy. I think Fort Bliss, you're probably going to hear, or maybe you'll hear on some outlets about tents and air conditioners and, I don't know, fans. To me, they'll be out in the desert. So that's kind of what I took. The building back was one thing that did catch my ear. You know, nothing spectacular. I figured it went the way it did. I just look at this room. It's almost like I keep feeling like someone is walking to a podium to announce the death of a famous person or something. The room is silent. There's nothing going on. The room is almost unemotional. It's just still. And he gets up there and talks, and you have to wonder, who voted for this guy? So with that, this is Treasure Troller for part 1, saying aloha and good day.